Uh, we anticipate they played more zone today than they played really all year combined because, Mashburn, their best player, I think he's the second leading scorer in the country, been dealing with a foot issue, toe issue, turf toe, they say. So he's kind of day-to-day. He played a couple of games ago, and then he hadn't played. I think he's missed 4 of the last 5 games. So we prepared as if he would play because he's so dynamic. He's really a 3-level scorer. And then you don't see him out there. You say, okay, he's not going to play. And then their second leading scorer evidently had a wrist injury in their last game. We didn't know anything about that. So they were really, really thin in the backcourt. They had to go super big. They were super big. They're playing settle at 6'10" at the 3 sometimes. So they settled into that 2-3 zone. And so once we realized Barry wasn't going to play, the second leading scorer, we said, man, we're going to probably see a high dose of 2-3 zones just because the bodies, they just don't have the bodies on the perimeter. And so I thought early, man, we were really effective. Zone offense is really good when that ball goes in, doesn't it? Tony started 4 for 4, and I think he ended 4 for 10. Ended up going 8 for 22 from 3. 21 assists, 8 turnovers. Haven't seen you guys since the Rice game, and boy, that was a crazy game. But at the end of the day, the reason we were able to win it was because we had 17 offensive rebounds and we had 22 assists and only 3 turnovers. We created extra possessions. And that's what we do. Tonight we have 21 offensive rebounds. We have 21 assists to 8 turnovers. So despite our issues at the 1, our guys are doing a good job of not turning the ball over. I thought we were a little loose in the second half. I thought Jabori played with a lot of force. I thought Brad Osweir really played for force in the back of the zone. And anytime you can win a conference game by 16 points, you certainly take it and you move on.
With Bradley, and especially in the second half, it seemed like he got a lot of, I don't know how many offensive rebounds, but it seemed like he had a lot of
3
offensive rebounds.
4 assists.
Oh, it seemed a little more than that.
Me too.
But, had some dunks and, just
played with force. That's the guy that I know. He tried to dunk through traffic, and I think really got confidence and really I thought he played well. I thought Jabori played well. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, made shots, finished some through contact. He made a couple of foolish decisions with the ball, but he only has 2 turnovers. We'll take that, 7 assists to 2 turnovers. And Chris Coleman had a little bit of the yaks. Remember against Charlotte when we were not sure if Yaks was going to be able to go. We had a little stomach thing going on. Well, Chris had that yesterday. So we didn't really know. Early tip, very similar to Charlotte. I think it was 1 o'clock. And so we get him in this morning. And, man, I thought his energy was terrific. 12 and 7. Yaks has 13, 11, and 8. He was really chasing that. And I didn't mean to sit him at the end, but I was going to put him back in. I thought Chris and Brad were really playing well, and I was going to rest him through the 4, and then the game got completely out of control. So didn't want to risk injury with him, nor I like Adam Fisher, and didn't want to be unsportsmanlike.
Coach, Tony was able to get the 3 ball going early. How refreshing is it to see that brought it down?
Well, what's crazy, man? Basketball is such a funny game. You think confidence. Confidence is like cash. You got to have some to get some. And the reality is, Buddy Johnson's coming off maybe his best 50 minutes, the 10 at the end of South Florida, and then the 40 at Rice. And today he goes for Ofer and dribbles off his foot and for a backcourt violation. Crazy game. A.J. Vasquez has really been playing good for us over a stretch. Not necessarily super efficient. Goes 3 for 9. And then Tony steps up and makes shot. And I thought Tyron Moore, when he got his opportunity, Jabori was just playing so well. He was plus 17 in his minutes on the floor, and Tyron was -1. So, again, I'm not as dumb as I look. I'm going to play that guy plus 17. And I thought Tyron knocked down a couple of threes for us against that zone when we were sometimes forced to settle from the perimeter.
I know you take it one game at a time, but these last 5 games, including today, the last 5, you got a pretty tough stretch here to finish out the regular season. How do you sort of keep that?
If you got to motivate now, bro, you got a bad group. If I'm Newt Rockney now, man, I got a bad group. Something ain't worked. We're 4 games. We're 1 game out of first place. We're in a second place tie with North Texas. We got 4 games to play. We're going to play Wichita State on Thursday. And I've never coached at Wichita State. In my opinion, they're one of the most storied programs in college basketball. Not top 20 storied, but top 50 storied. They got a passionate fan base. Greg Marshall took them to the Final Four not too long ago. Basketball is their thing. They struggled a little bit early, but they won today, Steve. They think they've won 6 straight, so we're going to catch them when the Koch Center, I think it's called. We're going to catch them when the Koch Center is going to be rocking, and I like that. That's what you're here for. Play for big moments, and then you come home, win, lose, or tie, and you got the Memphis Tigers back in your building. So huge week for us, and every game has a huge emphasis. And I think our guys understand that, and we've just got to be disciplined and tough enough to stay to the course. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. It's another close one today. Does it get frustrating, or does it just feel good to get the win?
It feels good to get a win, but I would say this is the most frustrated I've ever been in a win, which sounds kind of weird and wrong, but yeah, I was a little frustrated.
In what way? I mean, what, just because you're that close?
Yeah, I've been chasing this, like, it feels like I'm chasing a ghost, for a long time, and I keep getting right there, right there to opening the door, and then I just can't grab the knob, that's what it feels like.
How neat is it to see Tony get going early with the 3-ball?
That was huge, and he's a fan favorite too, so he gets the crowd jumping a little bit more than usual, so, that brings us life as well, seeing everybody get so excited.
As a player, when they're playing without their best guy, I'm sure a guy you'd love to play against,
Yeah.
type thing. Does that affect you at all when you look at there and they don't have their, a guy like that who's, does it affect you at all beforehand?
Yeah, I feel like it gives us like a little bit of a sigh of relief, especially because Mashburn is like the second leading scorer in all of basketball right now, so it's kind of huge, Obviously, you would want to play against that just to feel the edge of competition, and seeing how that's going to work out, but it gave us a big sigh of relief that he's not playing, yeah, and Barry as well.
Yeah. And that's one thing AK talked about was, you sort of thought maybe Mashburn might not play because he's been out, but Barry, you don't really know.
Yeah, that was.
So you sort of have to change some things on the fly a little bit early, didn't you?
Yeah. Then we got to, figure out how we're going to guard certain players differently now that Mashburn isn't there, because at first it was like, don't help off him at all, and now it's like we can sag off of him more than we were going to sag off the other guy, So it took a little bit of adjusting, but we got it pretty fast.
When Bradley's playing like especially in the second half, it seemed like playing kind of a grown man sort of second half. As a player, as a teammate, kind of how fun is that to watch when he's dunking and doing the things he did in the second half?
It's great, actually. We were joking around about every time he scored, like he does a little scream. He does the same thing in practice. So it's it's always fun to see that, and just feel that energy that he gives off when he scores because he's had a little bit of a like struggling type of year, but today was big for his confidence and just for us the way we see him play. So we can know where to give him the ball and what spots and figure out how we can thrive off him.
Did you have any idea how close Jabari was to a triple-double today, too?
He was bragging about he had more rebounds than me at some point. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I can't let that happen, So we started having a little bit of competition on the boards. But yeah, he was telling me about it a lot throughout the whole game. Yeah.
What would you think if he got there first?
I mean, I to an extent, I would have been happy for him. Then I would have been a little jealous, like, bro, like, I've been trying for so long. But I would have just been joking with him, just happy he got it, or somebody got it, Yeah.
What's the message to Votto when he has one of the best games of his career to today? How do you motivate him just to keep his head up?
Basketball is a game of up and downs, and runs. You can have a good run and bad run. But we know that we need him. We know he's been making huge shots throughout his whole career here at UAB. I only seen 2 years of it, but we know that he's the best shooter pretty much on the team, to be honest, in my opinion, So whenever he has a game like this, I just tell him, keep shooting. It doesn't matter. We know who you are and you know who you are. So hopefully he can shake back and do what he has to do next game.
You guys got to turn the page now to a huge week, a tough trip to Wichita and then Memphis coming back in here. And just sort of what are your thoughts on next week, now, trying to turn the page now?
Yeah, we have to handle that Wichita State game for sure because they're on the high right now. They just beat Memphis. They won another game. They're feeling really good about themselves. And for us to be back in the door now that Memphis took that loss, we need to take full advantage of it and put ourselves in position to win the championship. So hopefully we can stay locked in and do what we have to do against Wichita so we can move forward.
When you are coming off a game like the Rice game, and coming off even for the rest of the year, when you win a game that's so crazy at the end and really, you're fortunate. I don't know if luck's the right word, but fortunate for sure. I mean, how much does that sort of can that kickstart you a little bit when you steal a game?
Yeah, sure, because we did not deserve to win that one. I can tell you 100%. We were struggling throughout the game on defense, not getting any stops, and just not talking, through rotation, which is really messing us up. So just being able to survive that was great. And, coming into today, we were talking about the game a lot, how fortunate we were. And I feel like it gave us a little bit of an edge that we could have let that slip away and we could have lost our chance to win the championship. So, we have to be extra focused and continue to build off of this win.
Anything else for you guys?
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.